How do you defeat somebody who knows how it ends? Welcome back to the only channel that does movie reviews. I'm Timbo, and today we're talking about Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. And before we get into the video, you need to subscribe and you need to hit the like button. It's your responsibility. The third entry in the Ant-Man films is again directed by Peyton Reed and is the 31st MCU film. This film follows the Lang Pym family as they find themselves getting pulled into the quantum realm, being forced to interact with strange creatures and people while embarking on an adventure that brings them face to face with Kang the Conqueror, a man who lives outside of time. This film takes no time in setting up where Scott is in his life with his family, with his daughter Cassie, how he is with the Pym family, and also what his life is like after fighting Thanos. I've really enjoyed that the Marvel movies have really focused in on the heroes that were in Endgame and really kind of catching up with these guys and kind of explaining what life is like after fighting a purple man who has vowed to wipe out half of the universe. And because these people were just regular people, I mean, besides Thor, who had normal lives, who were living day to day, doing their own thing. So really getting to see what life is like after the blip is really interesting to see. I think this movie does a really good job about letting us know how everybody is doing in this family at the time and what they're doing in the beginning of this film. For instance, Janet, obviously at the beginning of the film, is hesitant to talk about the quantum realm or wants to even think about going back there because she knows something that they don't, and she doesn't want to tell these people because she doesn't want them to get involved in it. Then on top of that, you have Cassie, who hasn't had a lot of chances to really get to know her dad. I mean, from the first movie to now, I mean, she was what, 6 or 7? And then now, after the blip, he lost 5 years. She's grown. She's had a lot of time. He also was in prison. He also missed some time when he was in prison. So for her, the quantum realm took away valuable time that she could have had with her father. So she is in her own right trying to figure out a way to understand this place. So if that was to happen again, she could help find her father. All of this really just ties together and builds essentially what the events are in this movie. So huge props to the Ant fam. Also, I love Hank Pym talking about ants. I almost love that that's just his personality in this movie. Now, on to the other side of the coin. And to do that, I kind of want to switch masks.
Kang the Conqueror is probably my favorite villain ever. When he is in this movie, there's no playing around. He gets straight to the point and knows exactly what he wants. I mean, to be fair, a man who has lived out of time for such a long time and being trapped in a certain world, he's probably going to be a little bit angry, but the way he delivers his lines in this movie, you can tell that he is just frustrated. He does not care about the safety of others. He wants what he wants, and he's not afraid to do the dirty work himself. He definitely has his minions. You see him in the trailer, and you also see another villain in this movie too that we'll talk about in a second, but he's not afraid to get into the fight and do what needs to be done in order to get his point across and to get to his objective. I cannot wait to see Jonathan Majors play other variants in these movies, but I guess only time will tell. Make sure to like and subscribe for more jokes like this. Another villain in this movie that is pretty prevalent in the trailer and you see for a brief moment in the trailer is MODOK. Now, MODOK in the comics, I've never really thought of him as important. And to be quite honest, I never really was a fan of MODOK as a character. But the way that this movie ties in this character into this universe, into this world with Kang and Ant-Man is amazing. MODOK has plot points with Ant-Man as well as the entire Ant family and is ultimately the reason why this movie fits and ties together so perfectly. I am a MODOK stan and I refuse to let anybody hate on him anymore. I need some MODOK fan cams. Please send me MODOK fan cams. All right, God, I gotta take this mask off.
Fun fact, guys, I was actually going to wear that mask as a for every video. And I'm glad that I'm not doing it, to be honest. Let's put a hat on. Oh, I feel at peace. And the CGI and cinematography in this movie is unreal to look at. However, I do have some complaints. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm almost positive they're using the same like stage that they used the Mandalorian in. That thing is amazing. I love that it uses like live video on the background, and like they also can use CGI, and I don't know, it's crazy. I've watched like videos on it, and that thing, I mean, it's perfect. It any kind of film for like building a background without having to necessarily be there, that's the way to go from now on, in my opinion. Now, the only complaint I have with the CGI in this movie is when you have your CGI characters fighting on screen, looking super crisp, moving around, and then seeing that live characters doing the exact same thing, but looking as if they're on a shaky cam, it looks messy, in my opinion. It sounds like I'm nitpicking, but really, in 2023, I feel like this really should be a non-issue. Also, as somebody who consistently watches wrestling on a week-to-week basis and living with shaky cams from WWE, I'm over it. I hate shaky cams. I don't know why people love it so much, but it doesn't, in my opinion at least, it doesn't add any value to the story you're trying to tell or trying to add tension, drama. Use audio. Use the sounds. Have your actors like make grunts. I mean, this is a small complaint, but for me, it looks bad. And another complaint that I do have is Marvel. Why do you have to add unnecessary characters into your movies? I don't understand it. The only time that you add these it's almost like obscure, unnecessary characters. And they're there for no reason. They give no plot. They don't add to the plot. And I'm tired of like the funny jokes happening all the time. You've made great movies like Endgame that, yeah, it has humor. Life has humor in it, but it's just, you can slow down a little bit. Maybe Thanos was right. Maybe if we would have cut out half of the characters in this universe, I think it would have been a little bit better. I guess I'm a MODOK and Thanos fan. Boy. Overall, while this movie did have some cons in terms of unnecessary dialogue, side plots, and cinematography, it does make up by delivering us a fun comedy action adventure that really got the MCU, in my opinion, back on track just in time for time to not matter. I'm excited to see where these next phases are going to go. I like Marvel movies. I do enjoy going to the movies and seeing those. They just are fun experiences. And, since 2008, I mean, it's been a consistent thing. So I'm excited for whatever they're going to bring. And I'm glad that they have an actor like Jonathan Majors helming the main villain for these next few films and seeing what he can do. So yes, I do recommend checking out this movie. Besides my little quips, it's a great movie. It's going to be fun. It's worth a check out to see. So yes, I do definitely recommend checking out this movie. Don't listen to the critics that are saying that this movie is one of the worst Marvel movies, because you all saw Thor: Love and Thunder. That movie sucked. This movie it had a better feel to it. It felt like I was watching like the fun parts of Star Wars movies. So don't listen to critics unless it's me. And make sure, while you're listening to critics that are me, make sure to check out my last video right here. I talked about the movie Knock at the Cabin, and be on the lookout because I'm going to be making some more videos, and they're not going to be movie reviews. I want to do some other stuff too. But next week I am watching Cocaine Bear, and that movie's going to be fucking crazy. So with that being said, make sure you like and subscribe. And again, I'm Timbo, and I just talked about that. Peace!